Alright guys, we're gonna start another exciting episode of Opal Goat. Yeah. I don't really have like a good intro yet. We'll figure that out along the way. But we're gonna do these videos as often as possible. Most likely every single day. If not every single day, we'll do our best. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Opal Goat coming to you with the best, most disturbing TikTok videos on the internet today.
Words that are about to come out of my mouth, I'm not even surprised they're about to come out of my mouth. But it was only a matter of time before dragons entered the conversation. Yeah, you heard me correctly, dragons. Now you're telling me that an alleged dragon skull and skeleton has been dug up in Romania. And I'm gonna tell you, I've seen the video that's circling the internet, and it does in fact look like what I would imagine a dragon skull would look like. But I'm not here to tell you to believe in dragons. That's up to you to make your own mind up about that. But this video shows a guy in a hole with a dragon skull. Now, that got me wanting to jump down the rabbit hole, because you guys know I love jumping down a good rabbit hole. And it made me start thinking, the dragon is the only animal that's allegedly mythological on the zodiac chart, yet all the other animals do exist. How do we explain that? Also, the Bible even refers to dragons. So how do we explain that? And Chinese history says that they use dragon bones for medicine. How do we prove that? How do we explain that? So I want to know if you've heard this, if you've seen the video, what are your thoughts and beliefs on dragons? Because I guess now dragons are showing up. But let's have this conversation tonight, because the close.
Is he gonna show us the video or like not?
Calls to glow. People.
Okay, I just realized I gotta go all the way down.
What the?
So I was talking to ChatGPT. I asked it what was the amount that the average American had in its bank, and it told me it was like $62,000. And I was like, that can't be. Can't be right. That's no. You do have that? I don't. It's the average. They're including like the top 1%. So I was like, hey,
Okay.
ChatGPT, could you take out the top 1%? And it was like, that's against guidelines. And I was like, no, not like that. I like where your head's at, but that's not what I'm. No,
He said, "I like where your head's at."
like just out of the equation there. And then it dropped to like 10K. It dropped from 62,400 and something dollars to 10K just by taking out the top one. It's not immigrants, illegal or otherwise. That's not the issue, gang. It's not why your life is bad. So I was talking to ChatGPT.
Congratulations, Internet. You got what you wanted. You got what you want. You want to call me an addict? You could call me an addict. And guess what? I don't care. I like this. I like drinking every single day. I'm going to keep drinking
I felt that one.
every single day. I like the feel of a buzz in the morning. I like the feel of the caffeine sprinting down my gullet. I like it when that happens. I like it when the Adderall and the caffeine are at war inside my body and we don't know who's going to win. I like it when the alcohol's trying to outpace the Adderall and the Adderall's kind of winning and I'm fine. And it doesn't matter how many shots I pour down, the Adderall's still going to win the race. I like that. I like doing this. I have a cool life. I get to have fun every single day. It takes no effort. This thing better open or I'm going to freak out. God! I like that I get to be in a good mood no matter what. And it doesn't take any effort whatsoever. I like that every single day is going to be a good day because I have a very simple recipe to make it a good day.
I love how the comment says before the divorce announcement.
I like it.
Nah, factual. This is me sometimes. Let's watch anyway.
If you ever see this floating pink ball in the ocean, going the other way might just save your life. An Australian fisherman noticed what he thought was a downed hot air balloon, but when he got close enough to smell it, he realized what it was and that his life was in danger. Because this hot air balloon was actually a rotting upside down whale carcass, and the hot air was actually trapped gas that caused a decaying whale corpse to become bloated. When whales die, they decompose, and with nowhere to go, the gas that gets produced ends up trapped inside all that blubber. The reason you don't want to be anywhere near it is because it's a ticking flesh bomb that can explode and shower you in a confetti of blood and guts. Not only is that trauma enough to pay off your therapist's mortgage, since a bloated past tense whale can launch its guts at 45 miles per hour, it can actually kill you if you're close enough. And if you're dumb enough to be standing on the whale when it explodes, it can real life launch you clear in the air. In 2004, a 60-foot sperm whale was being transported down a busy street in Taiwan when it suddenly painted the entire block red. I couldn't tell you if it was cloudy, but it was in fact raining meatballs. In 1970 in Oregon, people used dynamite to blow apart a 50-foot whale carcass that had washed ashore. What they thought it would do was divide the whale into easier to manage pieces. What actually happened was chunks of whale rained down on the crowd of people that had gathered by to watch, and one piece was so thick it actually destroyed a man's car. Moral of this video: that's not a hot air balloon, it's a flash pass to Jesus if you're not careful. If you ever...
I don't even get what this is. Inflation?
I keep seeing videos about how our timelines are all messed up, like how I didn't know that woolly mammoths were around at the same time that the pyramids were being built. But there's actually so many other weird overlaps that are blowing my mind. And before we dive in, if you love the spooky and dark, you'll love the podcast. Like how Dali died the same year that Daniel Radcliffe was born. And even weirder, Eminem and Picasso were alive at the same time for 2 years.
Wait, Eminem and Picasso? Wow, that's an overlap right there.
Rosa Parks lived long enough to be able to see the first 2 Shrek movies in theaters. And let's not forget that in her lifetime, she actually sued the band Outkast. When the Declaration of Independence
Wait, Rosa Parks was still alive when I was around? That's news to me.
was being signed, no one knew that dinosaurs even existed. Like, dinosaurs had actually not been discovered yet. And let's not forget that Cleopatra was born closer to the invention of the iPhone than to the actual pyramids being built. This one sounds fake, but is totally real. The last person to collect a pension from the Civil War died the year that Obama took office. And finally, the oldest tree alive today was around at the time of woolly mammoths. And not only that, but when the last woolly mammoth died, this tree was already 1,000 years old. I keep seeing videos about how our timeline...
That's crazy. That last tree, let's go back to that.
This tree was...
This last tree right here, this one looks crazy. It looks like something out of like Lord of the Rings.
Here's some of the creepiest videos on the internet. Part 10. The popular American rapper XXXTentacion was murdered on June 18th, 2018, and his death broke the hearts of
R.I.P. to X, because it was just June 18th.
many. Many people visited his memorial to leave gifts, but some people captured much more. The YouTube channel The Fam recorded a video trying to communicate with this beloved rapper, but accidentally captured this. But someone else got a lot more than this. The YouTube channel
Wait, what was that? Let's go back real quick. Nah, that has to be fake. They had to have done that personally.
But someone else got a lot more than this. The YouTube channel Selva the Explorer got to speak with him through her spirit box. Here's some things he had to say.
What is your favorite song that you ever recorded? What's the name of your favorite song? Are you in the white light? Is there anything else you want to tell us?
Here's some of the creepiest videos.
Do you notice something kind of off about this mannequin? For anyone who's familiar with the legend, she is known as La Pascualita. The mannequin has stood in the window of a Mexican bridal shop for more than 90 years, but when she was first placed there, patrons noticed something kind of strange. The detail work on this mannequin was unusual. She was noted with eyebrow hair, veins, and even discoloration around her mouth and ears. But that suspicion soon grew to horror as patrons started to notice that she bore a striking resemblance to the owner's deceased daughter, Pascuala. Pascuala was actually said to be married herself, but ended up dying in a tragedy before her wedding day. Shortly after her death, the mannequin appeared in the window and the legend was born that these were the preserved remains of the owner's daughter. But the most compelling evidence has always been the hands. The hands are shown with wrinkles, they have veins, they even have lifelike fingernails, which is unlike any mannequin I have ever seen. The question remains to this day, could this really be the shop owner's daughter?
I mean, if you look at this, it definitely looks like part of the remains like the real like hair and stuff. I don't know. Could be.
Do you notice something?
Nah, I'm not going swimming. I am done swimming. For me, bro, I try not to go anywhere in the ocean if I can't see the bottom.
Abandoned mansion and a pool he jumps in, except it's a perfect breeding ground for brain-eating amoeba.
The neurologist came in and told us 4 days. You have 4 days with your son.
From baseball in summer sand to a hospital room.
Anyone in Florida knows about this.
And that is what brain-eating amoeba can do, called Naegleria fowleri. It thrives in freshwater bodies like ponds, lakes, and rivers. When you dive in, it will swim up your nose and infect your brain. It is over 99% fatal, but 100% preventable. Abandoned mansion and a...
There's another one that swims up your... You know, if you're a guy, you know what I'm talking about.
Submarine video once before they delete it.
Angle, huh? Yes. Right up close to the stern, right? Oh, look, that piece just fell right off.
Yeah, that big piece just came off. Can I stick my camera in front of yours for a minute?
Yes.
Without the porthole.
The porthole?
You know, just our porthole. I didn't want to get a picture of our porthole. I wanted to just
This is the string. Okay, nothing over the props. Wow. This big, I don't know what this big hanging piece is yet. Wow. It's a big round piece. Look at that.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Has it fallen over?
What are we looking at?
This thing.
Has one of the reciprocating engine fallen over? I don't know what I'm looking at here.
I've been in suspense this whole time, but I don't know what I'm in suspense for. I felt like something was gonna happen. This is bollocks. Bruh. This can't be real. Oh. And there's still ants. He's not even doing his job. Bruh, you can keep all the Australian stuff. Says welcome to Australia. No.
He's so
I'm gonna be so real with you. You think this sloth was freaking me out. The long nails, his head full 80 degrees. I don't trust how slow he was. He was giving me serial killer vibes. What? Nah, he kinda looked cute though.
Here are facts you didn't know that one day could save your life. If you're ever buried in rubble, yelling will only waste your energy. Look for something to grab and tap in intervals of 3, and rescuers will notice this strange pattern. If a tornado looks like it's standing still, this means it's actually moving towards you. If your drink randomly smells like cinnamon, don't drink it. People often use it to cover up the scent of actual poison. If your house ever smells like fish for no reason, 9 times out of 10, it's because there's an electrical fire. If you ever wake up to the smell of gas, don't don't turn on a light. A spark from the light switch could blow up your entire house. Lying flat on your back is the best way to survive a falling elevator. If your hair suddenly stands up, duck and cover because you're about to be struck by lightning. If you ever fall off the edge onto the tracks, don't try and crawl back up. There's a crawl space built to go underneath in case this happens. If you ever get kidnapped into the back of a vehicle, disconnect the brake light wire so the cops will pull them over, then kick on the door to let them know that you're there. Here are facts you...
That last one is actually mad valid. I'll take that last one.
And right now, Iranian ballistic missiles are coming into Tel Aviv. You can see the Israeli air raids.
First of all, it's just crazy how, like, look at where we are. Look at where we've come to in the world. Like, people are making videos of, like, World War III. Like we're watching, like, a Call of Duty rerun.
Systems in operation. Right there, some of the Iron Dome system going up, making interceptions. They are exploding at relatively high altitude just over the center of Tel Aviv. This is the second barrage we've heard just in the last few minutes. Israel tonight is launching new strikes inside Iran, taking out Iranian F-14 fighter jets while still on the runway and destroying ballistic missile launchers in western Iran.
This is crazy. Like, just imagine what it's like for the people on the ground here. Like, every day.
Okay.
Bro was like, okay. And then literally. Yeah, come back.
Okay.
He's like, nah, fam, I'm back indoors.
Yo! יא בני זונות, יו, אני בהלם. אני בהלם. אני בהלם. יו. אני בשוק.
That's gonna be terrifying.
אני פאקינג בשוק. אני פאקינג בשוק. וואו.
No, dog.
Why did Israel attack Iran? You see, Israel is seeking to be the most powerful country in the Middle East. In order to do this, they have to make sure Iran is unable to create nuclear weapons. On June 12th, Israel declared that Iran had gotten too much nuclear power and needed to be stopped. The very next day, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion. Targeted airstrikes hit Iran's top nuclear sites, including Natanz, Fordo, and others. They even took out several top scientists and generals. Israel used drones to take out radar systems, then unleashed waves of F-35s to strike over 100 high-value targets. But Iran didn't just sit back. They hit back, launching missiles and drones at Israeli cities like Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. And with Iran's new non-traceable missiles, they are able to penetrate Israel's Iron Dome. With Iran allied with Russia and China, some are saying this could be the start of World War III. What do you...
I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's so crazy that we're living through this time right now. Like, poor millennials, bro. Like, lived through, like, all of the major events. More major events than, like, any civilization. It's wild too, because with all the AI out there now, you don't know what's real.
Tensions continue to climb in the Middle East. Israeli warplanes pounding Iran's capital overnight and into the morning. This comes as Iran's foreign ministry warned that any U.S. intervention in the conflict would risk all-out war. ABC's Perry Russum has more from Washington.
Overnight, another round of missile attacks in the Middle East. Iranian news media releasing this video. It says shows rockets fired toward Israel. Air raid sirens screaming through Tel Aviv. Explosions in the night sky. Iranian missiles intercepted over Jerusalem. It comes as the U.S. appears to be on the brink of deeper involvement. The Pentagon now deploying dozens of aerial refueling tankers to the region. President Trump demanding Iran's unconditional surrender and threatening Iran's supreme leader. Trump saying, "We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader of Iran is hiding. He is an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out kill, at least not for now." Ayatollah Khomeini responding saying, the battle begins. Iran's missile stockpile may be dwindling. Some analysts estimate Tehran may have fewer than 1,000 medium-range missiles left. Israel now says it's neutralized 1/3 of Iran's missile launchers. This massive plume of smoke seen coming from the direction of a missile facility in Iran. Israel has vowed to stop Iran from building a nuclear weapon. Trump meeting with his national security team yesterday in the Situation Room. After leaving the G7 summit early, Trump previously urging Iran to negotiate a nuclear deal.
Bro, what is going on? They need to figure it out, bro, because I'm pretty sure, like, normal people don't want anything to do with any of this.
So Tartaria is history that has been suppressed from our history books. That's the best way to describe it. In my opinion, there was an ancient civilization or ancient species, whichever one you want to call it, which basically built the same type of structures all over the entire world, right? Whether that being in Japan, that being in Asia, that being in Russia, that being in Europe, South America, Africa, Mexico, United States, every single place has the exact same infrastructure. And, you know, that relates into this whole Tartarian history, because when you look at these buildings, you see like these, you know, they call them like Greco-Roman buildings or whatever else. You see this structure or this infrastructure everywhere, right? Every part of the world. And you sit there and wonder, well, if people were building like that all over the world, maybe they were also very united and connected, right? And we have a lot of disconnect going on with our history right now. You know, they just make up our history and say whatever they feel. You know, they give us the narrative of the traditional horses and wagons, right? Everybody was on horses and wagons, and they supposedly built all these beautiful structures. And when you look at the detail of these structures and how, you know, just the curvature and how it's like etched, right? It almost looks like someone just drew into these buildings. You know, you start to think, like, how were they on a horse and a wagon? They didn't have, for example, let's say maybe a crane, or they didn't have these tools, or whatever it may be. They didn't even have electricity, supposedly, at that time. You know, so you start to look at that and go, but they were building buildings that were like 10 stories high, that look like castles, right? So when you get into Tartaria history and you start to look at all this, you see a lot of these buildings have been hijacked by basically a parasitic entity, in my opinion. So you'll see buildings like, you know, maybe a mental institution, a hotel, you know, a school, right? It might be a university, and they usually attach some funny story like, oh, this started in 1902, and, you know, they always give you this date, right? 1903, whatever, but the building was there before that. And that's when you get into this whole Tartarian history, is a lot of this Tartaria itself was on the map. Right? When you go to look at these old maps from the 1400s, 1500s, and 1600s, there were all areas of Tartaria, and they showed big castles, like massive castles on the map. So Tartaria is history.
I think it's very interesting. I mean, I guess for me, like, I would always look at these buildings and be like, man, they just seem so out of place just in the rest of the architecture around. And I'd be like, what are all these steeples for? Why do all of them have like big points that go up into the air? And I mean, I don't know, like, the truth is always going to, you're always going to follow like the questions that don't make sense to you. Like if they give you an answer that doesn't make sense, people are always going to keep questioning it. And I don't know, like when I learned about this whole Tartarian thing, I think there's still a lot of confusion about it, but a lot of it makes sense to me. I mean, we'll get into more stuff. I do have to run, so we're gonna leave the video here. Just remember, do not believe anything in this video. All of this video is for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends. And shout out to all the other creators in this space. Yeah, let's keep rolling. Love you guys, and thank you again.